The Irrational Confidence Podcast. We're talking about the Louisville Cardinals. They are traveling to South Bend, Indiana. They're going to take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Louisville is 3-0. Notre Dame 3-1. At time of record, Notre Dame is a 6-point favorite. Over-under is set at 46.5. Man, Fresh, we're still feeling the residual effect of that Northern Illinois loss with Notre Dame there. Big win week 1, beat Texas A&M. Week 2, you get upset by Northern Illinois. Huge win versus at Purdue. Big stomp down on the Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio. Louisville's got the next matchup. Outside of this, after this game, Notre Dame's schedule is cruise control until that last week versus USC. Maybe Georgia Tech gives them an issue, but this is really it for Notre Dame until the end of the season. What do you think?
I mean, we go back to the James Franklin where he can't coach in big games and kind of seem clunk it out. Marcus Freeman, we need you to show up, son. You coached great the past 2 years in Ohio State when you played them, but you never found a way to get the victory. We need to see it here. This is your chance to really have a shining cherry on top of the season. We take out Louisville, we get revenge, have a big ranked win, and sort of put Notre Dame's like, all right, we believe again, or at least we kind of semi-trust the Irish to be a formidable football team at an elite level. That Northern Illinois loss is going to hang in people's minds for a long time. And this is a chance where you can go out here and beat down on a ranked opponent and maybe make people forget that one or at least think about it less. This is that moment. If you struggle with Louisville or you lose, 2-loss Notre Dame team with this schedule, I'm not sure that that's a playoff quality football team.
Right.
That'll be a major debate. Like, you might have a 9-3 team get in ahead of a 10-2 because that schedule, you don't take advantage of opportunities. Right. So you've got to have the team focused. And before I go into breaking this game down, Notre Dame and NBC have had an agreement for a long time. Why is this game on Peacock at 3:30 on Saturday afternoon? What is on NBC that is better? It's not Premier League soccer. What is on NBC in the afternoon that is supplementing and pushing this Irish Louisville ranked opponent to Peacock? Come on.
Is there an answer to this, or do I need to look it up?
I'm just hypothetically yelling at the NBC executives. Like, this is ridiculous. You need this game to be on NBC, driving at home, getting able to put eyes on the Irish. Now, streaming services are great for maybe periphery games, but not your premier matchup. You don't do this here. So this is already has been my goat for this ball game. Riley Leonard, you've got to show up and be a little more productive in the passing game. Your ground game, you've been able to move the ball with your legs a lot. We've got to start seeing you in the air, push this ball down the field, and help Irish offense become a little more dynamic. 55, points you put up on Purdue is great. Your backups are scoring, fantastic, whatever. But against ranked opponents, if you want to go make even like a playoff run or be in the playoffs, the passing game has got to follow along. You cannot run the ball the entire time and expect to be successful. Riley Leonard, you are 65 for 103 for 587, 1 touchdown pass to 2 receptions. That is unacceptable. Yeah, your team is 3-1, but you have got to be better in the passing game. And not just you, but the collective receivers, tight ends, running backs involved in that passing game. You've got to be better, Notre Dame. You've got to evolve your passing game. You've got to have some sort of balance on your offensive side. And against Louisville, who has an explosive offense, you have got to find ways to keep pace, especially if they jump on you early. Jeremiah Love, 46 carries, 339, 4 touchdowns, solid start to the season. But he's got to be productive. You've got to control the football, get him early carries, get him involved, get him lathered up, maintain down and distance, maintain top possession. But you've got also the passing game. If you can have success in the passing game, that opens up the running lanes for Love. It opens up the running lanes for Leonard. And now your offense really expands its opportunities and becomes a full-on threat to opposing defenses. You've got to find that balance. And to beat Louisville, you're going to have to throw the ball sometimes. Other side, Louisville, Tyler Shaw, who I've had issues with you. You're at Oregon, you weren't very good. Texas Tech, you weren't very good. Here you are in Louisville. So far, Not too bad. 52 for 76, 850, and 8 touchdowns. But now you're actually facing a legit defense. This Notre Dame defense is one of the top 10 in the country. I will say that maybe very liberally, maybe even top 8 in the country. They have guys in the secondary. They have pass rush. They have linebackers. How do you move the football against them? They are prepared for you. They are ready. And in your past, you've been very turnover prone. This is a big game. How do you show up and get the job done? At home last week for Georgia Tech was one thing. That Georgia Tech magic after the first, upset of Florida State is kind of worn off, and you're kind of seeing who they truly are. This is a much different defense. You've got to show up and make big boy throws, big boy plays for the Cardinal if you want to get them and stay alive in ACC. You're kind of hidden right now. It's like, so we forget about Louisville. Believe me, we've only talked about Clemson and Miami. Louisville's still a viable threat. But if Notre Dame can take them down, that's going to put some, all right, maybe they're not exactly 100% perfect out there. And there is just another ACC football team that looks good on paper or shows a couple of good games, but not really a true contender. Tyler Shaw, you've got to show up here and show that Louisville's a vehemently legit contender for an ACC title and for a playoff spot. If you can command Notre Dame and pull up an upset, that's going to be a big-time win on the road and sort of show that last year wasn't a fluke and that Louisville's truly a foe that needs to be challenged and handled and dealt with by Clemson, by Miami, or anybody else in the ACC as the season moves forward. And it also shows that Coach Braun can do it at 2 years in a row. It's not just a 1 year, wonder sort of sneak up on everybody. Another person I want to see have a big game for Louisville, Ashton Diaty. If Ashton can show up and bring in his sack numbers from the past 2 years, that's Louisville in a good spot. He had 11 sacks in 23. He had 7 sacks in 2022. He's only had 1 sack so far in 2024. Ashton, I need you, pal. You've got to bring your pass rush in here. You've got to get the right letter. Be disruptive. Be a force. Because if you are, that means Louisville's having a great day. If you're not existent in a big game, it kind of worries me about, are you slouched against terrible teams? Have you lost your juice? Are you getting chipped and doubled up? How's this going? Or, you know what? You might not get sacks, but if you're drawing, a tight end and a tackle, and you're allowing your rest of your defensive linemen or linebackers to get pressure, you're doing your job. But where does Louisville's pressure come from, and how do you have an impact on this football game? In the end, I don't know. I don't know if I trust the Irish, but I think the Irish defense is going to be the determining factor in this football game. I'm going to go Notre Dame 23-20 in a low-scoring, ugly affair. They're going to play great defense. They're going to find ways to squeak it out and get the W. Marcus Freeman will keep Notre Dame afloat in the playoff race, but Louisville will put up a heck of a fight, and this will be a great matchup in the afternoon to watch.
Fresh, I found out what is on Peacock, or I'm sorry, not Peacock, what is pushing the Notre Dame game to Peacock. It is the President's Cup, the golf tournament. That'll put butts in the seats.
That'll put butts in the seats. Not even the final day. If it was Sunday, that's one thing. Let's put golf on Peacock on Saturday and put, come on, folks. Or even USA Network. Put golf on USA Network. Let's go. The other game, you're being kicked to Peacock.
Right.
Get your money back.
Fresh, here's the thing. When I was thinking about Notre Dame here, I used to listen to some Irish punk rock, a band by the name of Flogging Molly back in the day, and they used to have this song that used to say, like, let's raise what's left on the flag for me. And that's kind of how I feel about Notre Dame, is that they need to raise up the last couple of things they have in their schedule to make them look like an attractive playoff team. Because here's the thing. They lose this game. The only thing that is left on their schedule is a possible win against USC. And then they're really banking on that Texas A&M win early on in the season in Kyle Field. Yeah, it's a great win. It's a huge victory for Notre Dame. You dominated them in that football game. But what have you done for me lately? Like, you haven't beaten anybody. You have an upset to a MAC team on your schedule. Okay. Hey, letdown game, I get it. Huge emotional output in week 1. It's a letdown game. It happens all the time in the NFL. These are kids. Those things happen. This is not a game where you can have a letdown game. But in this regard, Louisville plays into Notre Dame's hands. Everything Braum is wanting to do at Louisville is playing to the strengths of this Notre Dame team. Notre Dame has probably the best pass defense in the country. Watts and Morrison are studs. Like, those two guys are going to be playing in the NFL on Sunday, very, very in the very near future. Kaiser, the linebacker, we talked about Bertram for years over there. Kaiser, the linebackers, looked kind of really good as well. Bowen as well. They got some great linebackers, and they got a great pass rush as well. There's some other kids on there. You could talk about Snead. You could talk about, Osbury. You have a nice rotation on the back seven there, or back eight, even if you run 3 down linemen. You look at this team, Louisville is going to need to find a way to run the football, and I don't think that's in their DNA. I just don't think that's who they are. They're throwing the ball 88 times already in 3 football games. That means you're averaging right around 29 pass attempts a game, and you've run the ball maybe 30 times. I mean, people will go, well, that's a balanced offense there as well. But, you take a look, you're averaging, 6.4 yards a carry, but how much of that is propped up in a couple of these games that they're having so far? You take a look at the Austin Peay game. You ran the football like crazy against a scrubby team, and you averaged 10.5 yards per carry. I mean, come on, you're inflating your stats there as well. Louisville's got to find a counterpunch for their offense in this football game. Tyler Shaw, he's looked nice at Louisville, and maybe Brom is the quarterback whisperer. He's had some success there as well. Maybe that's what he needs. We put some respect on his name for that. He did some great things when he was at Purdue. They were real competitive back then. They've kind of fallen off with him. But where does Louisville get this? Where are they able to put this into a slugfest? Is Louisville's defense able to stop Notre Dame as well? Love had, we talked about SMA last year as one of the best running backs. You take a look at what Love has been able to do in his time filling in. Kid's averaging 7.4 yards a carry. He's got over 300 yards rushing. He's a strong candidate. He really is. This Notre Dame team is looking very, very good. They'd be a tough out in any of these games. They have to win this football game. You cannot lose this football game, Notre Dame. You cannot lose. The pressure is on them. And I think that's kind of the new world we live in, where you take a loss, you have a nice win. But if you take a bad loss like the Northern Illinois, your margin of error gets real small real fast, and especially even amplified at Notre Dame because you don't have a conference to play in. It'd be great if you were in the ACC right now, or in the Big Ten, or in the Big 12, wherever you were, and you had okay, I took a loss, but hey, as long as I win out in conference, I can get into the playoff as a conference champion. Not true. Notre Dame can't do it. Big time game for Notre Dame, man. I think the Irish are going to take this very seriously. I honestly think Shaw is going to throw 3 or 4 interceptions in this game. I think he's going to have fits with the Notre Dame secondary. Give me Notre Dame. I'd take Notre Dame in the points in this game.
I mean, I think, I already said Notre Dame was a close ball game, but you're right. I think the interceptions are going to be a big play because Shaw in real big games, not much to shake his stick at. You're playing an elite secondary who's going to be pressuring the quarterback and getting after him. I think the last year the loss is going to hang in their mind, especially from the coaching staff's perspective. And you made a great sort of point there. Not in a conference, so you're already starting at the 5th seed, the best possible outcome for Notre Dame going to playoff. Right. And every single loss from there, you start to tick down. So you can't miss any more opportunities. You've got to find ways to get this done and do it big.
Right.